welcome back. Today, my brother and I are going to discuss our thoughts after watching Nosferatu, and I also have a short clip from an old movie, Adam Age Vampire. Enjoy.
Well, yeah, you missed the beginning because in the beginning, I think it starts with the wife. I think her name is Ellen. Um, she actually she's like in her room and she's like begging for. She's so lonely. She's begging for something to like come and like just help her with the loneliness. And so that's what. Well, then we walked in and that's what that was. That's whenever you see Nosferatu, like the jump scare, and then like her start shaking violently.
That makes sense. Because that's why I was really confused. Like in the beginning, I didn't get to see her like confessing how lonely she was. And it just looked like, when we walked in, it just looked like she was just like being possessed by him. So I was confused, and I thought they went back in time to explain why, like, she was in the state that she was in. That makes a lot of sense.
But,
So then she called on him, like, because she was lonely.
She didn't call on him. She called on like something out there just to help her loneliness, and then Nosferatu I guess she awakened him, and then it was like years later, and every night since then, which she must have been like younger because that's what she says later in the movie. But she's dreamt like every night, and then how she like ever since then she knew stuff like what she would get for Christmas or like like what which parent would die first and how they died and
For
like all that
powers.
stuff. Yeah, like for some reason I wonder why, but they unlocked her psychic powers.
Yeah, that was one thing, too, I was kind of confused about, was Nosferatu was explaining to her that she was also not human. And I didn't really understand what he was trying to say.
I don't really know, yeah, to be honest, but like it's probably because she's like so lonely, or like has just like it's just gone beyond repair. Like he says that because it like at the end of the movie, she's the only one that can break the curse because like he can't resist her blood is what what's his name's character said.
Willem Dafoe?
Yeah, Willem Dafoe's character.
Yeah. And they pretty much knew Willem Dafoe and I think his name's Ian, I forget his last name. But they pretty much knew what they had to do. Like, they both kind of were conspiring with each other to keep Thomas away from her. That way she could kind of do the deed.
So you're saying the guy from The Witch knew as well? Because I know Willem Dafoe knew because he read the thing, but he was there too whenever they read it, so that makes sense why he would know.
Yeah, I think that's like how they both knew, because he read the book, and they both like, were there at the same time. It's my guess.
That makes sense. But then again, like Willem Dafoe's character in general, like I have a lot of questions about him. Like I would not mind like a spin-off movie where, because that dude said he wrestled the devil.
Yeah, he said that he wrestled the devil and the demons. He was the way that he was introduced was that he was like a practitioner of
Apothecary.
all kinds of religions, and eventually became like obsessed with the occult, with alchemy and the occult.
He was kicked out of his university from teaching from his university.
Yeah.
But honestly, he didn't really show signs of being crazy. Like he was honestly like a normal guy, just kind of knew everything about the situation.
Yeah, he was definitely my favorite character in the whole entire movie.
But everything he said was kind of true though. Like to me, there wasn't really anything crazy about him. Like yeah, like he walked in the first like after he was introduced, he walked in to see Ellen like tied up, and his first reaction is like, "Why is she tied up?" Like that's something that someone normal would react with.
Yeah, like they're overreacting, tying her up because she's like convulsing and like literally spasming.
Yeah, honestly, like almost like a seizure, like.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't like about the movie was, I don't know if it was like written, I don't know if his character was written this way, but Thomas's character, where he was such a pushover, like in the castle, and just trying to get a raise from his boss, and his boss was in on it the whole time too. Like he was, like that's the whole book was found in his office and everything.
Yeah, because when they had the conversation at the beginning, didn't he say that Count Olaf, that he specifically requested that house?
You're saying the castle?
Yeah, and then whenever he asked Nosferatu, he asked him, like, why didn't he pick that house? Like the one right beside him? And Nosferatu said that the government just decided for him. I remember him saying something like that.
I remember that now. Yeah. Like why does he have to stay there?
He was saying that because the house that he was selling him was the house beside his house, right? And he wanted that. Nosferatu wanted that house because it was right beside the wife. Like he would then be right beside the wife.
So I wonder if he was always gonna bring plague with him. Because, I mean, to everybody else that didn't know what was going on, like, was it really like the Black Pig, the Black Death, or was it like, was this, like, does everyone know it was Nosferatu, like he had a hand in it? Because the only people that I know are, like, the cast you see in the movie. But, like, everyone else, like, did it think, like, the regular old plague happened? Because if so, like, was he always going to bring that? Coming to where they were at?
I think that he was basically. I feel like the whole movie is just like showing the Black Plague and coming into Germany and Europe, and basically Nosferatu is almost like a character of the plague, kind of like showing how he just kills people and like he's killing the loved ones, like the kids and the wife, and like he's killing all these other people, but like not him, but also at the same time the plague. Like I feel like he's a personified version of the Black Plague. Is how I feel like Nosferatu is basically his character is basically. It's pretty cool.
So the night he got there on the ship, well, that was night one, right? So that's whenever like everything started happening. Like that was whenever her friend that they're staying at their house, she got like attacked by Nosferatu. That was night one, right?
Yeah, that was the first night. He said he was going to come back 3 nights, and on the third one that she would have to submit. But yeah, the first night, that was when he first got there, and then she got attacked by the rats. I thought they were eating her, like literally eating her insides.
Oh, that's a two.
They were just biting her. See, that would be crazy. She was just getting eaten alive by the rats.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, holy shit. But then I realized, like, she wasn't actually getting eaten by rats. Like, I'm not sure what the rats were doing there. Like, I'm not sure if, like, that's, like, his bats whenever he leaves or whenever he, like, vanishes. Like, instead of turning into a bat, he just turns, like, a couple of rats. Because there was rats fucking everywhere in this movie.
Yeah, there was a ton of rats. But I guess that's the part also where the Black Plague kind of ties in, because that's what spread the plague around was the rats. But he had all kinds of animals. He had the bats and he had the dogs too.
Oh yeah, I forgot about his dogs.
Even dogs. But I was saying, whenever he goes into the castle, before he gets to the chariot, before Thomas gets to the chariot, I'm telling you that I was reading Dracula, in that the way that Dracula, the book that I was reading, starts, it's also similar to how that scene takes place, where like he gets in the chariot and it's like the dark horses and he's going on the trail, like a really dark trail, and there's also wolves following him. That's how basically the Dracula book kind of starts. It's just Dracula is way more friendly of a vampire than Nosferatu. Dracula literally invites him into his house. The guy that goes to see him invites him into his house and tells him to stay there and like read all his books and stuff.
I don't know if it's true or not, but I did hear that like Nosferatu was sort of a ripoff of Dracula because they couldn't use Count Dracula, like his name, and so they kind of just did their own thing with Nosferatu.
Yeah, they just said not Count Dracula, but Count Olaf.
Yeah.
But yeah, they definitely put a lot of makeup on Bill Skarsgård. Like you couldn't tell that was him. Yeah, at least the physical traits you couldn't even see his face. I feel like in that at all.
Or in the voice either, because I mean that was my second time watching this movie, and I didn't even know he was in the movie until like I knew he was in the movie. I saw like the names on the cast and everything, but I didn't know like he played freaking Nosferatu until I watched the second time. I was looking for him too. I was like, all right, where is Bill Skarsgård? Where is he going to be? We see. I found William Dafoe, Johnny Depp's daughter. But where the hell is Bill Skarsgård? And then I just didn't think about it because the movie was kind of interesting. But honestly, my first time watching it, I was kind of falling in and out of sleep because we caught the late showing. At like 11 o'clock, and it was 2 hours long. I was fucking dead tired.
Yeah, I think you got home at like 2 in the morning on that day. Or
I think it was like 2:30.
Yeah, I just remember being in my room and then I heard the door open at like really late. And I'm just like, what in the world? And it was you and Betsy.
Yeah. I was so damn tired. Yeah. The second time watching, you can really follow the story. Like, it's probably because I wasn't asleep, but like the story, it's kind of hard with the old English and everything, with the accents. But the second time, I feel like maybe watching it, the first time having like a general idea, made me like click things fast. Like the first time, I did not realize that the old guy who was like cutting himself was Thomas's boss, or the one that was working with Nosferatu.
Yeah, that was his boss.
And I didn't know that until
Like, just went crazy, I guess.
yeah, until watching this, the second time, I put two and two together. I don't know if that was obvious, but like, it wasn't obvious to me.
No, I think it was just in the dialogue that they tell you that. So it's definitely that older style of English is definitely hard to follow, but compared to the other Robert Eggers, the Witch's dialogue is very hard to follow, for me at least.
Not for sure.
Like, I have to watch that movie with captions, because I won't know what's being said a lot of times.
Me too, definitely. I think whenever this movie comes out on streaming, captions are going to be a game changer. Like, I'm going to pick up on a lot of things that I didn't really realize watching it first couple of times. Because, like you said, a lot of the dialogue just goes right over my head. Yeah,
honestly, the caption for Nosferatu speaking his Latin or whatever it was he was speaking is that those captions, like the font and everything, it was really awesome. They should make the captions like for that for the movie whenever it comes out. They should just make that like a default caption.
I hope so, dude. That shit was badass.
But yeah, then surprisingly, there wasn't that much gore in the movie, which I guess makes sense if it's a remake of the classic.
True.
But you would think vampires, blood all the time, blood everywhere. But there's surprisingly not a lot of gore.
Now that you mentioned that, it's kind of weird how instead of sucking on the neck, they were sucking like right directly on the heart, where like it lays in the chest.
Yeah, like it was going straight for the chest.
But I realized the only people he did it with the neck was the kids. Like, we only see it for a little bit, but like he's holding them by like their shoulders, and he throws one, and then on the other one he looks like he's sucking the neck. and then just throws it too.
There was wasn't there another person too that, or no, that was the crazy guy that they lock up. He bit the one guard that went into looking on him. He bit him on the neck. But I feel like whenever Nosferatu bites him on the neck, that it's like he's just doing it to kill you, not so much to drink their blood.
Right.
I guess because like being closer to the heart, maybe he gets more blood flowing that way.
Oh, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I think there's one kill whenever he's in the boat coming over to the island or coming to the mainland. I think the first person who unveils like that opens up that block, I think he bites them in the neck and kills them. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so I guess if he just wants to kill somebody, he just bites their neck, lets them bleed out. Straight from the heart. That's the way to go. Man, I guess if he's like drinking on their blood from their chest, because Thomas didn't die, he kept them alive for like 3 days.
Yeah, it's true.
They were just drinking his blood and then just let him heal, I guess, and then come back.
I guess what happens is, like, if he doesn't kill you by draining all your blood, you get the plague sickness, because that's what Thomas had. That's what they cured him of, or no, because actually the nun had said that the shadow had was in him, and so maybe like there's a little bit of shadow in everybody, or just Thomas himself.
Yeah, and that kind of also ties up with Lily. I forgot what her name was in the movie, but
Ellen.
Yeah, Ellen. So it kind of ties in with what she says or what she asks Willem Dafoe's character. How like is evil from within or is it from like an outside presence? So maybe he can imprint the shadow onto people. But yeah, when he was in that church, the nuns were telling him not to leave because he wasn't allowed to go into the church. Because he like physically could not go into the church. And he still escapes. He just walks around on the horse. I think that's what happens. I don't know how he managed to get all the way from there to his town with him being in the condition that he was in.
Did he take a horse or no?
I guess so. He because remember when he arrived, he was on the horse and then he falls over.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So he must have stolen some horse because those nuns did not want him to leave, or the priests did not want him to leave.
One thing I did understand is the gypsies. So like that wasn't just a dream. Like that was, I'm going to say that was real. What Thomas saw in the gypsies. So they were leading a virgin on a horse to the vampire.
Yeah, it looked like they were sacrificing a virgin to the vampire, but the vampire, it didn't look like Nosferatu. Maybe it was like an early vision of how he used to look before he was all decayed. But yeah, that's what he was dreaming about. But it makes sense for it to be real because that's how, whenever he was in the castle, he would have the same kind of experience. And it would not be a dream, it'd be actually living experiences. So it makes sense. But what did he have on his feet? Do you remember? I don't know if you saw that part. Whenever he woke up, he had the pendant on his chest, on like his necklace. He was wearing it. And then he looked down at his feet, and he looked like he had like furry shoes or something, like slippers of some sort.
I don't remember seeing that part, honestly.
Yeah, he looked down, and I was trying to figure out like what is he looking at. It looked like he was looking at the slippers. I don't know, maybe they put something on.
I don't understand where everybody went afterwards. They kind of just like disappeared.
Yeah, they left. I think it's because they know that he was going to go there regardless. So maybe they didn't want to be in the path of Nosferatu leaving. Because weren't they also saying that he could not leave that place? I don't know if they mean that like he physically could not leave that place, or that like he shouldn't leave that place, or else he would cause the plague or issues like that.
He's probably physically bound because I mean, his shadow was really doing all the dirty work with Thomas's wife and everything,
Yeah,
and their flesh had never met, according to him.
yeah, the telepathic powers.
Another thing is that was Ellen, was she getting like freaking like, so she was having dreams just like Thomas was, but like Thomas was also like there with Nosferatu, but Ellen had never met him until the very end. Well, her dreams, was she, I don't know how to put it nicely, but like, was she getting raped every night? Or, because I heard someone say something like that where like she got raped like every single night from him. But I was looking at him whenever Nosferatu was sucking on Thomas's chest, like it looked like he was humping him, but he had his clothes on still.
Yeah, it looked very sexual. But she also did make that comment to Thomas about how he can never love her, like he can never make love to her the way that Nosferatu did.
Did she say make love or did she say please her? Like,
Yeah, it was something like that. I feel like it insinuated that they would have sex. So I'm pretty sure every night that's basically what he was doing. But I don't know. That part was also kind of strange.
yeah, like they never really, like they kind of left that up to us, and they didn't really like give us like a for sure answer. But I mean, with everything else, like until the very end, but even then, at the end, whenever they had met, I don't even think they were like having sex because she was just like she was naked, yeah, and he was naked too, but he was just sucking on her chest though.
Yeah, I guess it's like ritualistic, like how when people get married and they usually sleep on their wedding night together. I feel like it's the way that they kind of made it seem.
It's true. Because also in the book, it also portrayed them both as naked too.
Wow. What was I gonna say? I don't remember. I just remember she was like, I don't know if they sped up her parts where she was twitching and like having those spasms, but however she did that, it looked painful.
That did look painful.
Yeah, they must have sped it up. I don't know. I'd like to see it. But I mean, what's crazy to me is that the original is a silent film. I feel like I need to watch it just to see how they portray everything that this movie also showed.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Because I feel like a lot of this movie was all the dialogue.
That's not true.
So, like, how do you, in a silent film, show all of that? I mean, maybe I have to watch it.
It's on Tubi.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out.
It's either on Tubi or one of the other free ones. But at the runtime, I was looking at the runtime for the old one. Mm-hmm. It was actually really fucking long. Like it was like almost, I think I saw 2 hours as well, or almost 2 hours. Like surprisingly long for a really old movie.
Yeah, 2 hours is a very long time for an old movie. Especially when movies were like an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean like the what's that one movie where they shoot a rocket into the moon's eye? Like one of the first like color film movies or something like that.
Yeah.
That movie was like 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was really short. That one was also a silent film. I think they just had like music in the background. Well, Nosferatu, I think is probably, I wouldn't say my favorite Robert Eggers movie, but that would definitely be number two. I'd have to rewatch The Lighthouse, just because whenever I was watching it, I was like falling asleep and not paying attention. So I'm gonna have to rewatch that one because I always hear good things about it. But I don't know. The Witch was, after a couple more watches, it just really had that creepy vibe. Like that really creepy vibe that he just knows how to do. I would love to see an Exorcist movie made by him.
Like
Or
the
produced
first
by him.
exorcism.
Yeah.
Because he's definitely like more like old timey. Like that's kind of like his style is like old English and black and white almost.
Yeah, he just really knows how to create suspense, I feel like. And not only create suspense but like make this atmosphere just like a really intense atmosphere. And the whole possession scenes are crazy. Whenever she was in the bed, and whenever Willem Dafoe first went to go visit her, and he was performing basically like a small exorcism, trying to get her to talk of where she's at. I think he was just trying to see if she was pretending or if it was a real possession. But just that whole scene was crazy. When that scene came up and I was watching it, I was thinking, man, an Exorcist movie directed by this guy would be insane.
It'd be way better than fucking what's it called? Believer. Exorcist Believer.
Yeah, I wonder if they're still going to make that other movie too, the one after it. I think they're supposed to make 2 more movies after Believer.
If it's good, I don't care. But if it's bad or the same level as Believer, bro, I'm a block out.
Yeah, after seeing Insidious: The Red Door, I don't think I could be disappointed anymore.
They'll find a way.
But that's all my thoughts.